And here we go with another session of Rescue at Raxis. The party inside Raxis now going deeper into Raxis. They asked for directions. They fought the elven barbarians. There was a peaceful night had. Zarzul frolicked with the local wildlife. Malgurn displayed his dedication to the task at hand. There was puppetry outside the little hut, to the entertainment of the whole crowd. It was a magical evening, very memorable for all. Now you are all awake. You're rested. It is morning. It is bitterly cold. The hut is still there because it's been recast 3 times now. You're sitting amid the trees. The corpses are still there. The manticore still there with most of its soft tissue gone. And you are all inside Cornelius's tiny hut. What do...
So did last after all the shenanigans of last night, did it actually count as a full rest?
It did.
Okay.
Although, Siegfried. Wisdom save.
That sounds about right.
It was a restful night for the body, but not for the soul. You do not enjoy the sunlight right now. You don't enjoy the world around you, because it all has the horrors that will come to tear you apart. These trees could easily be hiding a multitude of blights. These corpses could easily rise up again. The very insects tried to gnaw at you last night. It's not really feeling like it's going to be your day.
We missed it.
But you've still got your booze.
Yes.
So, what are you guys doing?
Preparing breakfast.
Alright, you look around, you can see there's a lot of meat on offer.
Yep. How do you cook manticore? Is that a nature roll?
Oh, dear.
Sure. I was going to make it survival, but, you know, nature's fine, too.
I mean, he's not good at either.
As you're trying to work it out. You believe... Yeah, you just cut off any piece. Probably the cheeks are probably a delicacy. I mean, it looks kind of human, but you carve it up, they're not going to notice. You figure if you just carve a big enough slab of it and, you know, hold it under a fire, yeah, it'll be fine. Manticores aren't known to be venomous. But you do notice that a lot of the good stuff seems to have already been gnawed on.
Annoying. So I'll probably go for where the good stuff was, seeing the animals were eating it. Yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah. They weren't able to tear off the flanks or anything, but they've gotten all the juicy organs. All the sweetbreads, as they're called, for some reason. The tongues, you know, there's half the tongue left.
No, we'll leave that. We'll go for the back steaks.
You go for a rump steak, then?
I'm going to refuse to let Pufflesworth go over there.
He's kind of eager.
Nope.
It's only slightly putrefied.
No, Pufflesworth.
I'm barbecuing.
You all watch as the kobold walks up to this horrible monster, and as a horrible monster himself, he appraises it. Carves off chunks of it, and you all, you know, it's hard not to see the gaping, human-looking face with its eyes torn out, nose missing, and the jaw hanging limp, as he carves off its buttocks and thigh, and is intending to offer it to you all.
I think I'm going to stick with the rations.
There is also
Yeah,
the knowledge that the manticore was able to speak. So you may all look fondly upon your crate of 75 rations. Hardtack never felt so good.
Mm-hmm.
So who partakes in this meal?
Once it's cooked, I'll let Pufflesworth have some, but other than that, no.
What does it smell like?
Livery. It smells like a steak being cooked, but it hasn't been unwrapped from the cow.
All right.
It's not terrible for a dwarf, especially not for a mercenary.
Yeah.
I'll
But
give
it's
it a
not,
try.
It's not as nice as a simple homegrown steak. And it has a very gamey flavor, and you also think, this does look like something that eats people. So it'll probably digest people as well. But fuck
think
it,
it
you
should
haven't
be
seen many
honest.
dwarves around here. Zarzul, it's quite tasty for you.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was a robot for me. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not worried because
Every-
I'm not running voice meter anymore. It's just, Discord, get your act together.
I think my connection here is a bit dodgy at the moment.
Well, other people are roboting too. It's not just you, I don't think.
It's just having an awkward evening, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, we know what Zarzul's up to. How about the rest of you? While he's carving that up. The corpses are all still there.
We searched them yesterday, correct?
Yes, you rifled through her pockets as greedily as you could. But, I mean, it was nighttime.
I'll
Now you-
probably go and check and see how Troop is doing.
I'm going to be doing some prayers and trying to keep Pufflesworth away from the Manticore.
I'm going to be thanking Cornelius for giving us a hut.
You're gonna what?
Saying thank you for giving us a hut.
Oh, a hug. I thought you said for giving you a hug. So I was
No.
like, wait, what?
The hug hasn't happened, so I can't
Yeah.
thank you for it.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Droop
just,
is...
I already confused some of them.
Yep. Droop is tending to the horses. He is quiet, as typical, in fact. He's not really meeting your gazes, which is, of course, expected. He's not one equal. He's not one of the betters. He has his spell book slung in his pack, and it just seems to be busying himself. You, though, as an expert of goblin emotions, can see that his ears are drooping quite a bit.
I'll probably let him just do his duties for now and then maybe take it up once we're on the road.
Yes, exactly. Why interrupt him while he's being useful? Siegfried? Any activities?
Making sure my beard looks good. I want to outbeard the dwarf. Ooh.
Challenge
Interesting.
accepted.
He's actually becoming more and more dwarf.
If you want to put
I
some
approve.
effort into it, I will allow a performance roll. If you're going to preen yourself, because you have to do it yourself, there's no satisfaction in just having a mirror do it. Beard care must be a self-endeavor. Malgern, there's this moment where you see something nearly blind the corner of your eye, and you see sheen. You see volume. You see curled locks. That is a beard.
Oh no. Oh no.
Inspired by this, you run your gauntleted hand down your own and just drag a few of the crusted pieces of food out of the way.
I'm trying to hide my shame.
A few bits of crumbly biscuit and chunks of meat and just push it aside. But
Don't let them know how you really feel.
you don't have the volume.
Don't feel.
You don't have that wavy, glistening shine to it.
No, I don't.
Maybe-
I look up. I look up from my prayers and I look at Siegfried and go, "Hey, Your beard looks really nice today.
I just turn. I'm getting out of this room. This is my worst nightmare.
Mind you, it's a pretty boy beard, you know? It's not a warrior's beard. He
That's
probably
what I'm telling
washes
you. I'm
his.
trying to rationalize this. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a true dwarf beard. It doesn't
Yeah.
count. Doesn't count. This doesn't count.
He probably washes that instead of just letting the natural oils cleanse it.
Gross.
So Zarzul cooks up his meal. It's a smell you'll all sort of remember for a while. Distinct, powerful, and not wholly unpleasant, but sickening because it's not fully unpleasant. It's one of those things where it shouldn't smell good, but it kinda does. Like that scent whenever Cornelius roasted anything with his firebolt that was once a sentient living being.
Oh, like that lady last night who got roasted by an electric bolt.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Droop, how are you doing?
Yes, her corpse is quite distinctive among the rest of them, being a blackened, charred husk. There is gaps in her body from where squirrels ran through the crispy limbs. So that's your morning as adventurers. As a reminder, you still have at least one unlocked container. You still have to plan your journey. You now know a rough location of Ermom's Hill. You know that the knights are patrolling the area. And you have several seeds that look like they might also be blights. Or the tree itself.
Reach.
And of course, there was the figure that Zarzul spotted during the
That
knight's
only
endeavors.
That only he can see.
Yes, because for some reason, only he can see it. We don't know why.
I'm trying to remember if he actually ever got this hood identified. Or did I just stick it on and that was it?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think that might actually have been the case because I think at that point we didn't have access to any identification.
Quite possibly. Even if we did, I might have just stuffed it on. Hey, I can see, this is good.
Yeah, you guys just... Well, the kobold just grabbed that, stuck it on his head while you were riding out to the swamp. This was before Cornelius had a pearl to do his own identification.
And I think it was before we also had a lady that could do some identification.
Well, somebody could look at it now. You have two people who could look at it.
Well, at the moment, while everyone is milling about doing their stuff, I think I'll try and identify the sword blade that we found at some point long ago.
Ah, yes, the fragment.
Yeah. One that needs a hilt.
Well, as you etch out your little ritual circle, as you focus yourself, keeping that pearl close to mind, it's definitely magical. And it definitely had a fuller figure. This is certainly a fragment, but it's kind of strange because normally magical items don't get fragmented and retain their power. Ones that do tend to be quite powerful. As you're doing the spell, you're getting a very brief impression of a greatsword. You can't make out details in your mind's eye. It's just, you know that this piece fits somewhere in that kind of large blade. By itself, it might cut a little better than a razor blade. But the fact it still has power is the unusual thing about it.
Interesting.
Might be good for a shave.
I think I just put it back in the box then. I don't know if Castalia is gonna find out something to use it for.
You never know. Certainly not with this fucking party.
I reluctantly.
Just reluctantly have a signal, apparently.
And am I still breaking up?
You're better now.
It's just fixed itself.
Thought this connection was a bit dodgy. I'll reluctantly hand my hood over to Corny.
That was a wonderful, wonderful.
That was perfect timing.
monotone song.
Maybe type it. We'll have Botch read it out. He's got the same voice.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing it. The rest of you?
Oh, Siegfried's going to go and have a look at the box that he hasn't opened. And while
Everyone
he's doing that, he's
step
going to
5 feet away from him.
Yeah, I
Actually,
am.
better get 10
step
feet.
away.
I believe the only thing you've got left is the message tube.
Yep. I'm going to take that and wander off over to a tree, so I got a bit of shade and whatnot, and I'm going to look the thing over and make sure that I'm not going to get stabbed at any time soon.
Well, I'm sure Cornelius probably shared it with you that it has evocation magic in it. So stabbing, not likely. Might be worse. But, you know, you're an expert at this. You've got this.
Explosive, electrocution, frostbite.
You know, all the fun
That
stuff.
probably won't kill me outright.
Oh, it's the start of a day. This is a perfect time to do so. You're at
Yeah,
your
I got
strongest.
full of health points to use.
Yeah. So you want to give it a look over. Of course, that'll be an investigation as you're getting a good glance through.
Just finding out if there is any traps where they might spring from and bits and pieces.
You're eyeing it over. You are checking. You're being very careful here. You've even got one of your little tools out, prodding it lightly with a needle to see if there's any, you know, little segments, little very tiny crevices that could hide something spring-loaded. The tube looks fine. You have a little dig at the lid very carefully. You give it the very slightest turn to see if there's any resistance. Seems to be okay. You're not feeling anything give. You're not feeling anything like, you know, tensing up or pressure.
Right.
And
Time to start working on the lock.
the lock itself is set into the lid, quite deep. And it's taking a little time. Everyone else can get an extra activity if they want. As Siegfried sits down at this and focuses. It's a very delicate precision. This is a very small lock to begin with. You're having to adjust now and again as the light passes through trees, filtering through the branches. And then you hear that simple... You think you've got it open?
Don't
Right.
think. No.
Well, I think I got it open. Let's open it then.
It opens. Inside, you see a rolled up bit of parchment. Has a wax seal on it, but no actual design on it.
And suddenly you can hear Rain and Cornelius scrambling on the feet and just storming at you, trying to be the first to catch the scroll.
He's got to throw it behind his back.
Siegfried makes a break for it with the scroll.
That's easy enough with your cunning action.
I will let Cornelius take it first to look at it, but then I'll read it over his shoulder.
So you break the seal.
I'm guessing I'm handing it over to Cornelius and then stepping way back because somebody said that this thing had magic attached to it, so it might be breaking the seal that does the magic thing.
I noticed you moved me very, very far away.
Yes, I assumed you'd want to be far away from everyone right now. We'll just put Rain somewhere she can help you. Same with Zarzul, if you ever heal her. There we go.
Resurrect the ashes.
There we are.
Well, you've got in your hand a rolled up parchment with a large blue wax seal on it.
Can I do an Arcana check on the seal?
It has no design whatsoever. It is just a disc of wax on a dark paper thread. There's no little rune etchings. There's nothing from the looks of it.
Oh well. Guess I'll break the seal.
The moment you break the seal is broken. And the parchment unfurls. Sort of with resistance, it's been folded up for a while. And you see not a spell scroll, but a message. You see this. The tubed note. You might want to read this one out.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Apparently it's a letter. The subject is a Mr. Siegfried Anton, to be observed until further orders.
What follows is a thorough and accurate description, making note that while he wallows in mud and grime drunkily, he might not always be coated in it.
Known associates.
Each entry also includes accurate descriptions.
Cornelius sent. Association is minus as the Spellforge incident. Can be easily located and observed in the local area of Neverwinter. Typical... Well, we just skipped that. Malgern.
Noble from a weak
No.
line.
So you can see it over his shoulder.
Yeah,
right?
because I was over his shoulder, so I read that out.
Malgern Association is sporadic and a little more of an enabler for descents into drunken stupidity. Travels to and from the northern waste, is unpredictable, be cautious. Well, the last part here is just rude. If necessary, send through the usual channels a message to our office further south. An associate there has spent some time as him and can easily frame and discredit the subject to get them out of the way. Ah. So that is where.
I forgot about that thing.
That fucking dwarf.
Yeah,
And
the fucking dwarf.
And at that point, I take the rest of the scroll and incinerate it.
Yeah.
I'm just grinning and go, so.
Do I non-lethally toss?
Oh, I'm not talking about you. You're fine. I'm ignoring you.
I've incinerated the rest of the node.
I'm looking at Cornelius. So.
I'll give her a chance to snatch it.
Oh yeah, in that case, yeah. I'm just trying to snatch it, yeah.
It's about to get real.
What roll am I making?
It's going to be an initiative roll from the pair of you.
Uh.
Who gets to act fast?
Oh, well, I didn't select my thingy, but I got a 20.
It does. Yeah. This is a combat.
Oh, what? Oh.
You might roll high as well. It's an 18 you've got to beat.
I'm not gonna beat that.
You could.
Hey, nat
Nope.
20's happening.
I'm actually even slower.
There is a burst of flame from his palms, but the letter has been yoinked.
You were too focused on your spell, man. You lost focus.
Does Cornelius think he actually burnt it? It's
No,
just
he's
gone?
not.
She's not
He was
that
slow off the
much.
mark, not slow mentally.
Out of curiosity, since I have the evocation specialty that can make people not get hurt when I cast the fire magic, can I still target the scroll?
You can.
Good.
Good.
What happens if I turn around? and hold it
It's
up.
burning hands. You're engulfed in flames, except for the fucking note.
If you
You really
push,
want to save the note that badly?
if you pull it close to you,
Shove it.
if you pull it close to you, it would count as being worn or on their body, because it does say things that are worn or carried are not burned by the spell.
There we go.
Whereas it sets light to the fucking forest. A tree is gone up. There's grass seared everywhere. It's a good thing you guys don't have a fucking druid.
It.
At which point I'm going to then turn and say, okay, now that we got that out of the way, why don't we fold this up? Because who knows if this could be useful later on, and not because of the thing in here about you.
I think you said it about
What?
the animate dead scroll.
Namely, what happens if we run into another bit of paper that has the same handwriting that's about you lot?
It is quite fancy handwriting. But there is no signature, no stamp.
We'll expect it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, I don't know who Siegfried over there has pissed off. But
I
apparently...
don't think we either. Did you either?
Well, apparently they spent some time as you, whatever that means. Who's spent time as you? But point is, you might want to have this so if we run into them later and we see another bit of paper, we might be able to actually identify.
I think we would be able to identify it on the context.
Not necessarily its handwriting.
I mean, don't forget, Siegfried's probably pissed off more than one person.
Yeah. But whoever it is apparently knows you, Cornelius, and Malgern. Does anybody know what the thing they mentioned about the associate has spent some time as him?
I might have an inkling.
All three of them fucking know full well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking between the three of them, and
Yeah.
I'm looking for an explanation at this point.
To be fair, what you know is probably as much as we know. Other than I might be someone who can imitate a person almost to the smallest detail,
Oh, well, that's
and
quite
not
lovely.
a doppelganger.
That's quite lovely. Then that means that you seriously pissed off somebody somewhat important, apparently. But point is, this way, if we find another piece of paper, even if it's not directly related, we can compare handwriting.
I just like to imagine there's just now this burning, festering hatred for whoever wrote the letter in Cornelius for the comment against him. It is quite fitting as well that the description about him ends with a sentence, "His indignation will carry him away."
Pretty much.
Considering he just spent the first level spell slot on trying to get rid of this letter. Let's move that down to the notes. For now, you still have it. Siegfried, how do you feel about hearing your name?
I am now performing. I'm going to be making up some new papers.
Well, at the very least, you have a natural metal beard to at least disguise yourself with at the moment.
Yeah, now everybody's gonna think you're a dwarf. Why don't you come up with a dwarf name? And just don't use it
Does
to
the man look like a dwarf to you?
I mean,
Yes.
he's sitting
Doesn't
down
say
right
yeah.
now, so he's kind of passable.
He's a bit tall, don't you think?
Okay, then he's a half dwarf.
Do you have the? Can you use a spell that's opposite to enlarge? Make him smaller.
For a minute.
It would also make him a small creature, not a medium. He'd look more like a gnome or a bearded halfling. Still a good disguise, though.
He could just be a half-blooded dwarf. There you go. Malgorn could be his half brother. I mean, with a glorious beard like that, obviously he's related to you. You see, I threw in the compliment because that way he couldn't lose his marble.
Compliment saying, "Hate you so much. You knew what you were doing."
Oh, while this is going on, I'm going to distract Cornelius and ask him to identify this hood I've been wearing, just to see if there's anything else about it I should know. Taking off and squinting because of the bright light.
Is there anything in particular I should?
Well, that can you do the identify spell?
Yeah, but I'm asking him if there's a specific reason.
Well, he is seeing those creature things that don't actually exist.
Yeah, something weird going on, and that's the only thing I can think of that's altering my sight. Maybe it has additional properties rather than just night vision.
We can take a look.
And over the course of a ritual, you learn. But yes, it does lock the vision into dark vision to 60 feet, no more. It also gives very faint glimpses into the ethereal realm, which is a slight shift to the left when it comes to reality. And some creatures such as specters, things that are intangible for the most part, they do show up very slightly. You also get the presence that while you're doing this, you feel as if you're being watched by many eyes. Some are over your shoulder, some you feel are across the way, across near the horizon. Like impossibly long distances, you feel that all eyes are on you while you hold this.
Okay, so I think maybe you want to lessen the use of this hood. Just a word of advice.
He's saying it could be a bad...
I'll go into details what you just told about eyes seeing from everywhere, about practically from the universe and beyond.
Yes.
Oh, a chance for new friends.
One eye in particular feels like it's coming down. As if looking at you from above, far away.
Yeah, I just handed over to Sarso. Don't want anything to do with this thing anymore.
But you now know that he's getting brief glimpses and into the ethereal plane. There are some spells that can transfer a person there, some magic items and such. It's a very strange place. It's not a full-blown extra reality. It's just like a step to the side.
How interesting. I hope we can be friends with them.
For your sake, Sarsul, I hope as well.
As Cornelius knows well, he could make many, many friends, potentially. Zarzul, when you slip it back on, you don't feel any of that. Nothing whatsoever. It's just a nice comfy hood. It keeps your head warm.
And at this moment, Cornelius is also very comfortable in the knowledge that at least Castalia is only carrying around one from beyond the realms.
I have many friends.
As he says that, looking at you with his beady little pinprick eyes in full darkness, with just this little tip of his snout just extending outwards.
Evil on-lord Zarzul coming through.
Unless something picks him to be a minion. Alright, anything else from the rest of you?
I I was trying to remember. What was up with Prender's boots again?
Prender's boots. They have, I think it was 3 charges per day. As an action, you can walk your full movement speed in a straight line in the ethereal realm. And whenever you step through something that's living, well, a creature, just to use the general term, it will take a certain amount of necrotic damage. And you'll also avoid all attacks of opportunity.
I'm going to nick those because I can.
They are attunement.
And I'm going to put them on, yeah.
You all watch as your Grave Domain cleric puts on these large, heavy, mud-clogged boots. The heavy, rusted buckles rattling. And Rain, as you stick your feet in, they feel a little cold. You start to feel your toes go a bit numb. It's not uncomfortable, it's just not what you were expecting immediately. And the rain falls.
She is putting on the boots of her former lover, who's now.
Yeah, suddenly me stealing boots doesn't seem so bad, huh, guys?
To be fair, Rain has never saw those boots with Prenders.
Yeah.
But then there's quite a few years between them knowing each other.
Yeah, a lot.
He might have gotten up to some more stuff.
Probably.
But you do feel a little bit of a chill in your feet. I mean, you can still walk fine, it doesn't affect balance. But it does have that feeling that you can only equate to. It feels like you're walking on someone's grave.
Mm-hmm. I'm not at all surprised if it deals necrotic damage.
But you got a nice new set of clodhoppers. Not really delicate lady shoes, but, better for traveling.
Yeah. Well, I will keep my regular shoes for if I actually need to, be someplace important.
Although, you give them a kick and a scuff and you find the mud is not coming off.
I was thinking that probably was the case. Also, when the people aren't watching, I actually put the necklace that we got, the locket from Prenders, on, and I stick it under my thing.
Oh.
She's so vain. She put a picture of herself around her neck.
Wow.
Not even I'm that bad, damn.
It doesn't feel any different, apart from just the weight of it. So that's good, at least. It's nice not to be cursed.
Yeah.
As you look across at Castalia, who is constantly covered in water. In fact, you're now seeing there's strange veins and little marks and lines going across her as the water is frosting up in the cold. She doesn't feel it, but now and again when she moves, it's breaking apart and fracturing.
Well, no one's watching. Wolfgang's going to sneak into the wagon and use the mirror to get his fur in order.
We're an overly vain group.
It's a little tricky because he's got to hold it in his mouth and try to angle it. But he does look like he's been properly groomed for the first fucking time. Because that kobold never bothers. When's the last time he's had a good brush, he thinks? Probably about 4 years ago. He found this fantastic bristly bush. Which is amazing, because Wolfgang's only 3 years old. Alright, you've preened yourselves. Siegfried's learned that his paranoia might actually be, might actually lead to something. Are you folk ready to set off?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you wish to play with the corpses in the Manticore?
No, we're going.
Yeah, we got the spikes. I don't think there's anything else worth money off it.
Yeah. There was also the battlefield to the north.
We should probably have a look at that.
Very likely.
Are the knights still around there?
Oh, the knights are long gone. They left during the day. Or during the night, sorry.
Okay.
As you approach, you see the rest of the enemy numbers.
Bum, 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 bum.
You see the archers You also see among the horned elves, two that look... let's see, are there two there? I think there's only but one. Yeah. There's one there who looks particularly prominent. I mean, dead. Cut down, but she has greater horns. One of them snapped off, but laying beside her. And you can see great rents in her skin. And a large wooden staff that's been stepped on by a horse.
Is it broken or just large?
Snapped in two.
Okay. I'm going to investigate this fancy-looking funny elf thing.
Alrighty. Give me an investigate. As I get out a monster sheet for no reason whatsoever.
I know nothing.
Well, you root around. You find that she's actually carrying odd little objects on her. A chunk of stone. It looks kind of dark and shiny. There seems to be this weird yellow stuff in her pocket too. And then, you find a little lump of iron. Some fragments of more stone. Little chunks of mushroom. As he's bringing this out, the rest of the magic casters recognize these as typical components for spells.
Yep.
Zarzul has no idea. He thinks it's just, oh, she likes knickknacks. He does also find 4 different ears. 2 of them elven, 1 orc, 1 human. The 2 orc ones do not match.
Lady has strange stuff.
She was a spellcaster.
Oh, that might explain the staff.
Mm-hmm.
Her antlers are also much larger and kind of driving way out of her skin compared to the others. Very prominent.
Wonder how one gets horns like that.
Says the horned tiny dragon person.
These ones are a lot more impressive.
They are. Malgurin, roll me an intelligence.
He fails.
I do not. Okay, I fail.
You have a suspicion in the back of your mind it might be elf breeding season. Obviously, these are for rutting and choosing a mate. That's fucking perfect.
Fuck you all. Fuck you all.
You're as slow on the uptake as I am.
Why is Malgern typing? No.
She fucked it up. You're meant to leave the A out.
I am.
No,
smart
he has an
person.
intelligence above 10. He knows the word R.
There is also the other manticore, which is much less of a manticore than the one you guys had. It looks like the woodland critters had quite a fun time picking at it. It is a collapsed husk, really.
Are any more spikes on this one?
There are. Also, I'll point out the elven bodies, untouched. Do you want to try and harvest some more spikes?
Yeah, I'll try and harvest some more spikes.
Who has the gauntlets right now, by the way? Are they back on the kobold?
No, Kobold's not wearing
I
them.
believe so.
He's got the magic bow now.
That's true. Which
So
means
then,
there's 19
slots.
strength just going spare, by the way.
I was thinking somebody grabbed those, but I can't remember.
Wouldn't they be somewhat useful to Siegfried?
All my slots are taken already.
Oh.
I
I'll
think
take 'em,
most
man.
of us are capped.
I'll
We
take
have a muscle. I was wondering whether we got a muscle wizard. Never mind.
If you notice, the devil who's dripping is pointing her hand up saying, I'll take them.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I mean, it could also go on Rain, or, Malgarn Kerwerben's a fashion statement, but yeah, sure.
No, I'm officially with the boots. I'm now Cap.
You can swap these items around. Anyway.
Yeah.
You wanted to grab spikes, Zarzul. You remember you weren't that lucky last time.
But now I know better. I know how to harvest them properly.
No, you harvest them wrong. You don't know the right solution yet.
Well, it's eliminated one possibility.
Yeah, yanking too hard seems to break them.
So, what's that? A survival?
It'll be survival. Once again, you
It's a
guys
little
see
bit-
this small reptilian body just sort of desecrate yet another corpse of a monster. Jumping around the tail, he's sorting through it, picking through. A few of them are just sort of falling aside, a bit too loose. Some were cracked in the battle. And then he managed to twist and squeeze and pull a few more out. You now have 4 more. They weigh about 5 units apiece. They're quite dense. Well, I think actually, how much does a shield weigh? Someone's got it in their inventory.
Actually, Rain has a shield.
6.
6, okay. So we'll say they weigh 3 apiece.
I think I'd be overburdened.
I could probably store some of them in my pouch.
Your belt is full, isn't it? Of money?
Oh yeah, that's right. No mind.
Oh yeah, my belt is full of.
Well, you don't know if it's full. You just know the coins came out while you were stuffing them in. I'd just like to point out, if you're going to put them in his pockets, carefully aim.
Did we ever actually identify that belt of holding?
The lady did. I haven't personally, I think.
Okay.
Yep, you paid a woman to do it.
Not the first time.
Certainly won't be the last for him.
Wow. Harsh.
That's not in character. Rain wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
She just
I know.
think it.
I'm pretty sure Rain would.
I was gonna say.
She would think it. She would not go that far.
I'm going to call Cornelius over to check out this important looking one.
All right.
See if they, you can make anything of it.
What you see is a not entirely unattractive elven woman of immense build and feral sort of provenance. The horns are a bit of an unpleasantness. She does have some strange daubings and marks on her, but I mean, these are primitive people, obviously. What sort of fucking meaning could there be in squalls like this?
All right. So I'm looking at the corpses.
But I mean, she looks filthy enough to be a druid. If she's a magic caster at all, because she's obviously not a wizard. She doesn't look like a highborn elf either, so she may not be intrinsically magical.
Well, I can't say other than maybe some sort of shaman or something, I guess.
I wonder what they were doing out here. This doesn't seem like their type of place.
Really?
Yeah, they're fucking wrapped in bark and simple levers. They don't belong in this forest.
Oh well, Dazzle is great with his nature.
These wood elves
If
don't
anything,
belong among these trees.
If anything, I'd hazard a guess and say they might be related to that tavern and all the plants around it.
Let us get moving. And this, hang on. Anyone want to ransack the rest of the bodies for a couple of copper?
You do know that you found no coins on the previous ones. But you did find the seeds.
We probably should
Bas-
check and make sure that there's no other seeds on them.
Yes. They just end up.
Yes. Nothing foreboding about grabbing those seeds. For it was a dark and stormy morning.
Did we find the head elf?
You believe you did.
Then going to look over that.
Alright, now that you know what you're sort of looking for, and more sort of aimed than Zarzul was, you pluck out 9 more seeds. Now this is in general after you've searched all the group. I mean, there's lots of bits of people. They all seem to have a very humanitarian diet. You don't find any, like, personal trinkets, though. It's just a lot of snacks, basically. Maybe the equivalent of rations.
Good heavens, they're on a road trip.
These merciless killers and their massive stack of rations. As the merciless pack of killers look back at their wagon with its massive stack of rations. But yeah, 9 more of those blighted seeds.
Why should we contain them in? I don't really want to touch the wagon.
I have a different question I just thought of.
Sure.
What's the magic on the actual spell, the message case, then, if it isn't the message itself?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'll
So, what are you
cast
guys up to?
Identify on. I will cast Identify on the actual.
I think I
Note.
did.
He
Did I
did.
just do a kind of... Yeah.
But on the note itself.
There
the
is.
note itself.
Yeah. So you try to cast Identify on the note?
Why not? Because if we're going to be traveling, we got plenty of time, and that way we can try to see. Okay, what is this?
What
the
makes you think you're
magical
going to
thing,
get
or
10
is it
minutes uninterrupted? Roll initiative. The note is not magical.
Alright, so it's the case that's magical.
So you try to do Identify in the case?
Yeah.
It is not magical. The lid is
Was
also
it the
not magical.
seal?
The seal is not magical.
The magic's gone.
Must have been a dispel release from when Siegfried unlocked it.
Dispel,
I think-
triggered, you know, 2 sides of the same coin.
If I had to guess, it was an alarm. So somebody knows we've opened that.
Someone may know that Siegfried opened that.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just did a good job and unlocked it. And that killed the spell.
Well... I wouldn't know which spell I would actually have to look up to see which is an evocation spell.
Well, actually, no, with the... I fucked up. The locks on the book were evocation. This one was abjuration. I believe I got it right that time.
Yeah, okay, then it was...
Yeah, you assume it might have
Then
been a
wasn't
glyph.
alarm.
Or alarm. But it might have also been a glyph of warding. Which can have many spells put in it, but it will register as abjuration.
Let us get out of here before somebody turns up to find out what.
You mean another one who is apparently going to have our heads?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll just be lucky and they'll all meet each other at the same time and try and kill each other.
Or they could take turns.
Maybe they can get into a bidding war.
That'd be humorous.
You guys really think you're worth anything?
Well, apparently Siegfried is to somebody.
Yeah, Siegfried is.
We all know by that note Cornelius isn't.
It's a
I
low
also
blow,
did
bet.
not. I actually did not say that out loud, but she's thinking it.
Such wonderful people we are.
You're lucky you never picked detect thoughts. That lets you effortlessly read the surface thoughts of someone.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
but-
that would be a dangerous.
but Cornelius would never waste it on rain. There would be nothing to gather from there.
The trip was meant to be a
You're assuming
bonding
that's
experience, I'd like to point out. It was meant to forge you as a party, as people you could trust and rely on.
Yeah, about that.
But I forgot you're a pack of fucking goons.
I mean, yes.
Anyway, you look out to the horizon, you can see a wine bottle being dangled on a string. You better chase it. So, you set off at last from the area?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Are you following the knight's advice and taking the road?
Yeah.
Or are you going to try to forge through the forest?
No.
Zarzul was aware that there is undead somewhere around here,
All the
Yep.
more reason to say no.
says the undead killing cleric.
Yeah, but I also have a mission now. I have someplace I need to go.
Ermon Hill might be covered in undead.
Exactly.
And so the party sets off. Aboard horse-drawn wagon, they tarry along the main road. There is traffic, which is quite nice. You've actually been... Most of the time you've had the lanes to yourself, but now and again you're seeing companies of, well, not company of knights, but knight-led companies. Various militiamen, various mercenaries. You can see a few that look like the Doma folk. Oh, correction, not the Doma folk. Fuck, I got that mixed up again. The Durations. The people from Jurat. You see some that look like they came from Neverwinter. You can see a few over the hours of Flaming Fist mercenaries, which you know hail from Baldur's Gate, and Malgern, you, well, actually all of you are aware of the incredibly low reputation those people have. You're lucky enough that when you see a knight-led company, it's pink or it's blue, and you haven't seen the two meet together. As you push through a forest and then finally back into the sprawling fields, you see hills, you see great wide expanses, sort of ruined by all the various picketed war camps set about. There are much smaller ones that are in much lesser condition. You see people just milling around. Some rushing past the forest line that you've just gone out of, with bow and various small animals. Some of them limping, dragging themselves across the ground. Who knows, maybe they met a squirrel. But in general, the day is pleasant, bitterly cold, but pleasant. The wind is sharp once you get out into the main expanse. And there's people. All doing their various industrious bits. You can see many horses reined up on the hills. You can see a lot of pomposity. You can hear horns blaring, drums being beaten. And then you're remembering this is all on the side where the orcs aren't. Technically. This is all just pissing contests between the two knightly orders. But there are also mercenary camps, and there's banners that Malgern recognizes. You've served in 4 of the many you've seen. Like we're talking about, you're seeing about 15 odd different banners hanging up. 4 of them you've served a few jobs in. Never really stuck around. Seems like it's a good market for a mercenary. Then you see the great sweeping bend, and as you adjust yourselves, you can see, in the distance to the east, the great walled city of Raxis. The sun is well past its highest point now. It's starting to get a bit orangey in the sky. Probably have another day's travel to get to the city itself, but you can see its massive gates still closed. You can see huge spired buildings right above the walls. Look further in the distance, you can see, lit up by the sun itself setting. Oh, I meant sunrise. No, never mind. You can see the sun casting upon it. The sun sets in yeah. High up on a mountain. Although you can see, just barely, a trail curving up around it. The castle of Raxis itself. It looks, from this distance, almost as large and imposing as the city. Then you look to the west. You can see the rolling green fields. You can see dirt tracks of various directions all swirling around. More hills. And then it sort of gets lost in a mixture of rises and falls. You are on the corner, on the cusp of adventure. To those who have a sundial, it's probably around 7 or 8. What do you do? Where do you go? Where do you come from?
Well, I'm not
Carbonate
gonna
Joe.
Shave and a haircut.
2 bits.
They can never resist.
Well, yeah, we are cartoons.
I mean, we were going to be a traveling entertainment group, so yeah, that could work.
It's been a busy day. Well, just watching it all. It's nice to be around a place that's lively.
If we can, let's identify where that lovely, lovely place we want to go is.
Well,
If we can, let's identify an inn.
there's no buildings around here. It's all temporary camps. Although, no, that's actually not true. There's no standing buildings. There are remnants. You can see now and again that some of the camps have been set up in, like, completely worn down foundations of stone. That might have been forts at one point. Maybe a mill house.
Mill house.
What do you guys do?
So what direction from here was Ermon Hill?
You were
Is it
told it
around
was to
here
the
even?
northwest. And there was no direct road to it anymore. Basically, you'd have to go off-road for a bit.
Do we want to investigate that before we get to the city?
I think that's going to be wise. Not to mention, do we really want to be running around in the city with this book that's still locked up?
Yes, obviously you should have it open and show it to all the people.
No, it's
Read them passages.
no. That way we can figure out what's going on and then dispose of it.
What is with you and disposing of things?
He doesn't seem to dispose of everything, just things that
Things-
make.
Things that make things undead.
They prefer living impaired.
Oh, fuck off.
So, I see we've got sort of 3 options here. We go to Ermon Hill first. We go to town, try and get rid of the sale shell, then head to Ermon Hill, or just head to the city and do our stuff there. And
Well, the city is where the snail shell will be, anyways.
Malgurin wants to push to your mom's hill.
I second to the hill.
Y'all want to mount your mom's hill? God, you're disgusting.
Guess we're
Oh,
going
dear.
to Erman's Hill.
Looks that way.
Well, that was easier than I thought it would be. Y'all don't take much convincing.
To be fair, it's not a very decisive party.
Yeah.
If someone says something, the rest all sigh of relief. Thank God I don't have to put something forward.
Well, I mean, I wanted to go to the hill anyway.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was talking about the rest.
oh.
Well, we've got a fourth option. We could turn into bandits and raid every cart that goes by.
No.
I hit Zarzul in the nose with a newspaper. No. No.
As you look at the newspaper, you realize the Knicks lost again.
I hit him harder. I know it's not his fault, but I can't control my anger.
The Cubs won the World Series.
Well, now I know.
Wait, the Cubbies won the World Series?
Well, it
to
is
go
a
back and put
fantasy.
some money
It
on
is
the
a
Cubbies.
fantasy realm
Exactly.
after all.
True.
To be fair, it was a bunch of wild-shaping druids. They kind of cheated.
Oh.
Like the whole thing about the Cubs having such a bad track record is apparently something that even transcends the fucking Atlantic Ocean. That's how even I know it.
Damn English.
So you're setting off. You turn the horses from the hard-worn dirt road. Although you notice, as you were getting closer to the city, it was actually starting to become paved, but you still had another day or so to go for that. It would have been your final approach.
While there isn't a road going there now, was there any sort of side road in that direction?
Give me a survival. As you decide to put a bit of your tracking knowledge to work. Fascinating.
Familiar.
Very fascinating. But on the bright side, this was a road that was traveled, maybe it hasn't been gone to for about 50 years or more. So there's a lot of higgledy-piggledy sort of trails and tracks, especially now that they're leading to camps. You're not entirely sure, but you're noticing that, these are diverging off, and you can see where they're going to. But there's now a faint mark now and again that seems to just keep on going further on, past the camps.
It's like something to try.
Yeah. It's about the best you think you could do. It looks like it's going in, people would usually go in a straight line if they could. And that seems to be the less divergent.
Yep.
Although as a kobold, you have a
Onward.
natural instinct to make a twisting, spiraling sort of path to, so people can't pursue.
And fill it with traps.
Yes, exactly. Being a naturally cowardly and selfish creature who tends towards evil.
A
Stop
superstitious
stereotyping. That's a stereotype.
It's in the book. Only goblins rarely tend towards good.
Yeah, it's in the book. The gospel is written by Corvus, right?
No, and Volo's Guide the Monsters. Anyway.
Who's this Volo guy anyway? I've never met him. He doesn't sound very trustworthy.
Maybe you will, if you go someplace special. Maybe a magical place. Anyway. The cart starts to, of course, rock a little bit, shake and tremble, as you're now going on properly untraveled road. There's bumps, there's furrows, there's stones that you're easily able to steer past. The night is getting darker. You're pulling past a camp of the Azales. You pull past a very tense camp of Cerules. There's a few civilian little spots. And one that looks like a fucking regiment has just sat down, still in formation.
I've been there.
With about 20-odd women rushing between them, serving out. The men unmoving from their position. The night continues to darken, the sun getting lower. Are you going to push on, or head to one of these NPC-filled areas?
There might be
How-
some safety in numbers.
Yes, which one do we want to stay with, as it were?
Oh, it won't matter when the initiative rolls. I mean, choose whichever feels right.
Probably the ones whose mission aligns with.
The most.
Well, no, one side is clearly doing the same thing as we're doing, the other one's not. I mean, it's a two-sided thing.
We don't want the Zale Knights, I believe.
There you go.
You're gonna pick a side?
Well, for the moment, this is not technically permanent, but
But all you know is your gut says maybe?
Pretty much.
So you're gonna pull into the Azale camp.
No.
wait. Yeah, which is the one that we're supposed to be friends with?
Blue ones.
Blue one. Wait, no, I thought it was. Yeah,
Aren't
it
they
is.
both blue?
Nope.
No,
No,
one's
the
other
Azales are
ones
pink.
Ah, yes.
For the Azalea of a flower.
Oh, right.
It's on Oliver Helletry, I just can't find flowery pink knights on Google Images. I managed to find a handful that were blue. They didn't have any symbols on them, though. So you pull up to the Cerule camp.
You just didn't look hard enough.
I was about to say, hold on.
Is it bad that Rena's doing the same thing? She's
No, I figured they'd do that anyway. They're very easily
Fair
distracted.
island.
God.
Yes, I need something a little more serious than that. Anyway,
Okay, ooh.
as
serious, you say?
we're playing a game. We're mid-session. As you roll along towards the Cerule Night Camp, you can see that it's a bit smaller than the Azale one. The tent's 4-poster, quite nice looking. Large cloth wall. And you also see a couple of guards standing outside in their full armor, who raise a hand to you. Halt there! What's your business?
Oh, just planning to settle down for the night.
I see. You got your papers?
Do we have our papers?
We have a receipt.
I don't think that was he meant by papers. I do not believe so. We are but merchants from another place. We have not been told about having any papers.
Alright. Sorry, mate. If you want to bunk up at the camp, you gotta be hired on. I need papers for that. You happy to ruck up with the civilians? But we can't let you in, security reasons.
Ah, that's fair enough.
Wouldn't put any false flag operations past the Azales. Filthy pink bastards.
Well, we'll be moving on then.
Good. Have a pleasant evening.
You as well.
And he just starts talking back to his mate. Can you believe that? No fucking papers. There are a couple of civilian camps in various states of disarray. A few of them look like they actually have a merchant, a real one. Not a fake one. Not one that just has a giant glittery shell. And a couple are just simple folks scrabbling at the ground, really.
What sort of merchants are there? Be of interest.
Well, obviously the most popular ones were the food merchants. There is a butcher's cart that is still some has some stock. Although the big bloody knives might be the key to that there.
Yep.
There is unmistakably a wine merchant at one of these because there is quite a loud camp a little further on to the north. Any place that is that rambunctious must have some booze. The others, well, you're at a distance really. It is getting dark. It's a bit of a guess. But there seems to be about 4 small camps. The northernmost one is the one making a lot of noise. One further to the west, that's the butcher. Then there's 2 in between.
Well, one thing is for certain, we're going to have to camp down regularly this night. So no hut this night.
Sounds fair. Do you wish to check out one of these merchants to see what they have to offer?
You know, as I kind of take Sasul a bit away, why don't you go check out some of the stores? And why don't you take Droop with you? I think he needs a little bit of a distraction.
Okay, this can't end badly. Okay.
Droop agrees, and you watch as the kobold and the goblin go off towards the camps with frightened, panicky civilians and peasants.
Guys?
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Zarzul, you're in charge here, because Droop is but a child.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look around and see what types of stores or merchants are set up here.
Well, which of the camps are you going to? 1 to 4. 4 being the northernmost one, first being the westernmost one. So you know that those 2. One definitely has booze, the other's got meat.
I see any of the other 2?
I mean, you can see that they've got large wagons, and there seems to be some people in fancier tents. Along with the usual people who are just, making lean-tos and shit. But it's not like, they're not open for business kind of thing. You can't see their stock. But they do look the same kind of, sturdy merchant wagon that you found that kobold in.
Oh,
Okay.
dear.
Well, no, as in, indicating it's a merchant's make. It's a heavy hauler.
Yep. I'm gonna head to one of the other 2 camps. We've got rations and, well, I don't know whether drowning Droop's problems in booze is going to be a good thing. So let's head to camp number 2.
Alrighty then, camp number 2. Are you approaching brazenly, sneakily?
Oh,
Murderously?
we're open about it. Because you know what the first words are going to
Okay, you 2 walk up and...
Hello, friend!
Back at the wagon, Siegfried, Cornelius, Rain, Castalia, Malgern. You all hear a lot of raised voices and shouting coming from Camp 2. You see a lot of raised flaming torches brought up into the air.
You see rather...
Zarzul, you and Droop are running for your fucking lives from a hail of stones. And in fact...
Oh no.
Let's see here. Yeah. Let's have a look here.
Oh,
Okay. I think all of those miss Zarzul.
Yep.
One of those hits Droop.
Oh, no.
And he gets cracked in the back of his skull by a particularly sharp stone for 4 points of damage. He is sobbing as he runs with you. trying to breathe and also gasping out breath. This was your job, Zarzul, and now you've got a crying goblin boy beside you. There are people roaring and shouting. Cornelius, you're remembering that you're not that far from the Cerule camp. And the guards have taken a bit of an interest looking in your direction. Luckily, you're not pursued.
Wow. Oh, that was interesting. Camp number 2 are definitely not friends.
As they get back to the wagon, you can see that Droop is holding the back of his head. There's blood on his shoulder and his neck and his hand. There's a big, fat snot hanging out of his mouth, or out of his nose, as he's just weeping a bit.
I'm gonna cast healing word on him just to.
I think the healing word here would be sorry. Yeah, no matter what you roll, it fills him up to max.
It did not go as well as I'd hoped.
No, that's fine. He's fully healed. He only got hit for 4.
The whole excursion.
What? That went completely to plan, I assume.
No. When people hear "hello, friends," at least they're supposed to be slightly confused and distracted.
It's almost like there's a war on.
Yes, but you don't throw stones at friends, even if you don't know they're completely friends.
So, how are you feeling, Cornelius?
I'm very close to start throwing sleet storm over camp number 2.
Because you sent them there.
No, I didn't set them there. I left it into Zarzul's charge. But I'm trying to keep cover, not to show off that I'm a wizard. Well, at least we know. At least we should probably keep away from camp number 2. They seem to be a bit jittery.
That's great.
You okay, Droop? And old Cornelius can kind of watch this like an pat on the back. Not quite sure how to comfort a crying child.
It doesn't hurt anymore physically, but emotionally he's crushed.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's had the monster treatment. Especially now that he is a monster. After all, he killed that lady.
Yeah.
So, the rest of you got any bright ideas?
Well, let's go to a different
Siegfried's
camp.
trying to make up some, trying to think of a new identity to steal.
Let's go to a new camp, but let's not let the Kobold lead.
Go alone with a goblin.
Yeah.
I think the appearance of another humanoid might help.
He's correcting the plan as if he wasn't the one who came up with it originally.
I'm looking at Siegfried.
I mean, he's almost human. Passable, maybe.
Yes. What do you want?
Why don't you pick a camp?
Send Castalia next with Wolfgang.
I have a better question. Why do we actually need to camp with them? We just need to camp beside them.
Because then they'll question why we're beside them. If you just sit down next to someone, they'll question why you're sitting there.
Not to mention, maybe if a couple of them actually have, people we could buy things off of.
And what are we actually trying to buy?
Well, I don't know. If there's anything that might be useful, you never know.
You know, the Camp 2 has a surplus of torches.
We don't need torches. I'd prefer things like, booze,
There were a couple of pitchforks as well.
or anything that might actually make us look a little bit more merchant-y.
I mean, the wagon is pretty full on right now with cloth as well.
I don't think we need any more merchandise. We just need to get a night's sleep so we can continue.
Yeah, it's up to you.
And we've already seen that some of our companions aren't particularly liked in this area. Do we really want to antagonize anybody?
I mean, you're adventurers.
Well, to be perfectly fair, they were also antagonized because they were the only ones that showed up.
Well, while you figure out whether you want to go and see the other camps, I begin to set up some tents.
By which he means he pats Droop on the back one more time and says, "Go set up the tents."
Wait, why are we going to set up the tents? We can't use this hut?
No, we cannot. I'm not about to start magically create a house to show that I'm not just a regular merchant.
Just tell him you had it the whole time.
No.
Look, I used to work with guys like this. They're stupid.
That'll just make it more
Just find a
impressive.
magical, find a stick and say it's magical and it creates heart.
Cast a minor illusion to make the stick.
It's not the people that's there. It's not the people. I'm a little more skeptical about the knights that are nearby, who's probably going to question.
Fine.
Did you guys even buy tents?
No.
I think we did at one point.
I thought we did plan on a couple of tents and bits and pieces.
Yeah, you actually buy them.
Yeah.
You're meant to put them in the treasury if you did.
Well, I'm not the one with all the money, so I know I didn't buy them. Looks at Cornelius.
I'm
See
just
here.
holding them. There's also a treasure chest filled with 1,000 gold. Well, 800 or something since there were some taxes.
Yep, 900 gold.
Taxes, quote unquote.
Yeah.
We have 2 tents apparently.
2 tents. That's enough for 4 people.
Hey, now you know we can go up and buy.
Excuse me, you've run out of your home or been chased from by war. Let me buy your remaining shelter.
He's a philanthropist.
There might be a general supply store among them.
Probably in camp 2.
I mean, who else would have so many pitchforks? What are you fucking guys doing? Come on.
But for the moment, I'd probably.
Probably what? I think the mic died again.
Mm,
Probably a thunderstorm, maybe. I don't know.
possibly. Oh, she's typing. Did the cats unplug it?
Oh,
I'll assume intentionally. Oof. Well, voice your concerns. One of your other party will read it out. Let's see here. Meanwhile, I guess I've got time to make a whole new encounter. Whatever Dungeon Master gets to do his prep work during the session. What are you guys up to?
Well, I'm going to be helping pitch tents and bits and pieces.
Alright, you're going to help Cornelius
Probably,
pitch a tent.
If Cornelius has told people about the bits of sword, I'm going to help people set up a tent and then go sit with that.
Gonna sit with a shard again? Okay.
Yep.
And Zazzle is going to make his usual abode underneath the cart.
Wolfgang looks a bit miffed because he was getting used to walls and a roof.
The bed.
But he does settle down. Troop is doing a fine job with the tents. Then Siegfried is doing an even better job of fixing what he does. And Castalia, you no longer feel the coast. The last time, but you did this. There's no taste of blood, there is the slick feeling of oil. There is darkness, then you're pulled out and you can feel a cold light. The rest of the party can notice that the moon is quite high. It's just a crescent though, but it's still casting a fair bit of light on proceedings. You feel a wind moving from the south. The party also feel a wind moving from the south. You feel as if you're held aloft. A strong grip. There's a reverberation through you. There's sound, so much sound around you. For the rest of you, you can hear a great roar coming up from between the two nightly camps. The Azale one seems much louder, though. And you feel yourself, Castalia, you feel as if you're being stretched. As if you're being pulled. It feels for a moment as if your ligaments are coming apart, as if your neck is about to dislocate, as if the horns are going to be pulled free, and then you feel strong. You feel, for a moment, the surge of pride and power. And then you're back to your senses. And you felt strange. You felt close. It also takes you a moment to get used to your joints again, as if it feels like your limbs should be longer right now, as if you should be standing taller. It takes a moment to get your balance back.
So what the heck was that sound? Because we heard that as well, didn't we?
Yeah, you're just hearing them roaring. You know, a little bit of we're gonna fuck them up tomorrow, right, lads?
Okay.
Hooah! That sort of thing. But you're not really hearing the distinct words because it's quite far away and it's a bit of a cacophony.
And I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, we've all been there before.
Yeah. But it started in the Azale camps, and then the Cyril camps were trying to answer back, but there's not as many dudes there, apparently. Or at least not as many ones who are shouting as loud.
Alright, so I clearly know who's winning here.
We're not between the two camps, are we?
Not directly, no. You're quite a bit further to the west. You're looking at more of a sort of, northeast, southeast kind of thing.
Oh, well, unless somebody wants a human-looking like wants to investigate the camps, I'm going to get some sleep.
That's the best idea you've ever had.
Yeah, agreed. I'm just, well, I don't know. I looked at everybody and said, do you think one or two people ought to just go investigate the camp?
I think people should. And more socially accepted people.
But
I was
not me. Ugh.
I do volunteer to head out. I mean, with the big giant Kellenvor symbol on my chest, I kind of look a little bit more presentable. Does anybody else want to go with?
Actually, I think Malgern would do quite well. Seeing as how there are mercenary camps about, he would be accepted pretty instantly, as he has the mercenary look.
Yeah, malnourished, underpaid, bad hygiene. It's all there.
Ouch.
It would also give you a sense of power amongst the people.
Okay, I kind of perk up at that.
I'm looking at Cornelius or Siegfried because I don't want to go with him.
Because at first I had disdain for having to go with the elf, but then you said that, and I'm kind of like, okay, this could work. I'm sure she knew that she was getting at.
I think she's done it with 3 of you so far. I think she still hasn't got Cornelius wrapped around her finger.
But she's extra convincing, so yeah.
The wily wiles of a devil woman.
Cornelius, any of you guys want to go?
I love it. She's beseeching them for help now. It's great.
She'd rather go with Cornelius than Malgur, and that says so much.
Yeah, it really does.
Well, Siegfried, there might actually be alcohol there we could purchase.
I wrap my hands around one of the kegs that we already have.
Yes, but that's not going to last very long now, is it?
Your point. It's here now. I don't have to go somewhere.
Yes, but if we go and buy the stuff and then bring it back, then that way if we come back, they won't have drank it. It's guaranteed.
You know, it might not actually be such a bad idea with Siegfried tagging along, considering his belt and all. He should be quite at home with the rest of the dwarves. Or they will at least welcome him with open arms.
He does have a magnificent beard.
They do seem to have anger problems against shorter people, though.
Yes, just being short was the problem, obviously.
Clearly.
He says from underneath the darkness of a wagon, with his hood covering his face and pinpricks of light for eyes, with a wolf wrapped around him.
Yeah.
That was clearly the only issue there, yes. Do we have a decision?
I'm ready to go.
I'm looking at the human.
Yeah, I'm rearing to go. So I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I mean, I know what's wrong with you guys, but now is not time for that.
If they won't go, I will.
All right, that'll work. I'll take you.
I'll make sure nobody steals our cart.
All right, I'm trying to describe the face that Malgurn is currently making, but
I
I'm
know.
not sure how.
He's looking up at her as if, what the fuck? Come on, I'm right here.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we all know.
Saying
what
I'm ready to go, I'm ready and willing. Okay, I'll take Castalia if no one else is coming. The fuck, I'm right here. So Ray and Castalia, and from behind Malgurn.
No, I'm not going now. Fuck it. No, ungrateful bitch.
You could still go up there. You could just not be associated with them.
You know what? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But fuck the.
No, thank you.
That's probably why she's going to the camp. Anyway, there's 4 camps here.
Just like the Vistani camp, am I right?
You don't know that.
You have no problem.
You just know that when you woke up, you still had Pufflesworth.
And I came back in somebody else's shirt.
So, camps 1 to 4.
So, which one looked like it was most likely to hold a merc?
4 was the one that definitely has booze, because it's the rowdiest. 3 looks like it has a couple of a merchant wagon, so does 2, but then you've also soured things with 2 slightly. 1 just has a butcher.
I think 3 is our best bet. I don't want to go to 2.
I believe she's talking to Castelli here.
Yeah, I am pointing also at Malgren, and I'm pointing over to 3 and say, do you guys want to go to that one, considering we've kind of already ticked off that one?
3 was the one with booze?
4 was the
No,
one with
4.
Okay, I'm wanting to go to 4.
We can go to both.
Yeah, we could go 3 and then 4.
Fine.
Hold her hand. Remember to be on your best behavior.
No, I want to be unsupervised. I want to run free.
As you walk up to the 3rd camp, it's pretty obvious who's getting all the attention from the various people who are sitting around. It's the Soggy Devil, of course.
Nobody's surprised.
The people there, it's very much just simple outfits. These are people who toiled. Looks like a couple of them maybe were tradesmen. One at least looks like he's probably an artisan. And the wagons themselves, well, one's closed over and you can see that the owner and his family are just sitting around at it. And the other one is a bit lit up. And there's smoke coming out from it, mainly wafting out of the door. And a simple glance leads you to see glass bottles. The people are a little bit wary, but there's, a couple of raised hands of greeting. Some of them just sitting around the fire, a few playing their instruments. Not well, competently. And there also seems to be a dancing girl there. You can tell because her outfit seems the least practical, but she's currently on break, just sitting around gnawing on a cooked snake. No one's really saying a whole lot to each other. No one's really saying a whole lot to you either. So it's your turn to do something.
I'm deferring to the elf because obviously
Are
she
you
didn't
sure?
want me to be.
I was about to say, why would you defer to me?
You remember what
Wasn't
you
this
did.
your plan?
I didn't have a plan. I was just coming to show up and see what's going on. So does anybody absolutely, like, any area around absolutely scream like, hey, somebody might be a merchant?
Well, yeah, I mean, the 2 big wagons definitely look like a merchant, and you can see that there's, at a guess, you'd think potion bottles in the one that's still lit. The other one's closed up. You don't know what he's got. Could ask. Communicate, maybe.
Yeah, that would work. In that case, probably go up to the one with the potion bottles. And, hello, how are you?
Oh, 1 second, 1 second. And you see coming out of it's a bit hunched over. A little bit frail in years. Looks like a human. He's possibly in his high 60s. Ah, okay, hello there, you're new.
Yes, we've just kind of arrived in the general Raxis area, and we have noticed things aren't necessarily going too well.
Well, I mean, it's obviously not going well for us either. Something I can do for you?
Yes, we were looking to possibly end up someplace where we could make some purchases.
Oh, well, I still have some things here. Can't eat them, so of course they're not flying off the shelf. Let me see what I've got in stock here, if you're interested in a few potions. Are you interested in a few potions?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you were still talking. Yeah, that was one of the things we were a little bit interested in seeing if you had, yeah.
Well, let's see here. I've no healing, I'm afraid. That's all been bought up. But let me take a look here. Literally take a look. Jeebity-oo. I have this, a potion of water breathing. 2 of those, in fact. Let me see here, what else? No, those have all been sold out. That's not ready yet, but still has to mature. No, they don't want me to sell this one. Sorry, I've still got to think of guild regulations. I have 3 of these. A potion of animal friendship.
Huh. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, it's a bit unpleasant looking, but it does taste fine. Gives you a power to speak and bond with animals for an hour. Let's see what else I have here. A little novelty, I suppose. I do have this potion of fire breath.
And that could. I look at Castalia on that.
I won't deny that one's a bit pricey. It's mainly why it's not in the hands of a mercenary or a knight right now.
And now I'm trying not to laugh because I've imagined what happened if Zarzul would have gotten his hands on that.
He'd feel right. He'd feel complete. And yes, I'm afraid that's all I've actually got right now that's usable. All the rest of his stuff still has to distill.
Well, obviously I have to inquire about the price for the animal friendship one.
I'm a friendship one. I've been doing that one for about 150 gold. I know it's a bit steep, but it allows you to get on a much deeper level with your friends and pets. You know.
I don't know. That is quite an awful lot.
Well, it does take a lot of sourcing the materials and brewing. I mean, I can't just pump these out daily. I have to spend months just brewing away.
Oh, I do quite understand. Let me think. I look at Castalia. Is there anything that you're thinking of?
Oh, she's shut off from Mike.
She shut up her mic. Well, then I'm also looking at Malgern.
I'm just thinking, I was like, I wonder what Puffle's worth if I had that.
The funny thing is, that is the exact thing I'm thinking of too. I really do want one. Not at all.
I wonder if he hates the elf too.
You know what they didn't think of doing? This is great. They didn't think of bringing money.
Yeah.
I have some money on me, but not
Yeah,
nearly,
I don't have the whole amount.
I think I have... How much money is Margaret?
I only have 26 gold on.
That's roughly what I have, but even then, like, I can't justify dropping that much gold on... Yeah, I only have 8 gold on me.
I don't know. I am very tempted.
But, I mean, I kind of consider it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's a novelty. No. We've wasted money before. Be calm.
It's a novelty to piss off the elf.
Ugh, tempting though.
You could be Pufflesworth favorite.
Gold.
Yeah, but it's not with me right now.
Yeah.
Well, I also didn't want to bring a whole bunch anyways, just because do you really want to carry all that much around in a refugee camp? No.
Oh yeah, sure. Imagine the weight of it. You could strike someone.
And like, I don't think they want our gold. I think they're looking for like food and.
Even so, I'm thinking I might come back later to get that animal potion. I really want it. I really want it.
And that's why it's there. Like the game knows.
There's also a potion of water breathing. And a potion of fire breath.
One of those. We already turned the water breathing.
The fire breath could be funny because we do have a little dragon.
But it's
I
expensive.
think you'd appreciate that.
And I would get a laugh out of it.
Out of curiosity, how much is the fire breathing potion?
Fire breathing potion, as I said, it is quite pricey. It's very dangerous, in fact. That'll be 800 gold, I'm afraid. But you must understand, it uses parts from an actual dragon.
Yeah,
The price on that totally makes sense.
I'd be happy to
that was
knock
more
the
of a
price
joke.
down if you could find me replacement pieces, but we don't really have dragons in Raxis.
Alright, Zarzul, what kind of pieces you got?
I don't know if any of you remember that I have a bottle of dragon bile.
No, I don't.
Well, I actually might know about that.
And that is something that Malgern would not really
I
care.
I think he got that in campaign 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
true.
Rain wouldn't
Oh,
know about it. But then, would he also have brought it with him, or would it still be on a shelf at home?
I mean, I have it in my backpack, so I think maybe
His
he just forgot
bag of
about it.
everything.
Yeah, Droop never emptied it out.
Mm. Like that's why I still had the failed invisibility potion.
Yeah, the fire breath as expected is a bit above our price range, but we might have to come back to do some dealing regarding that animal handling potion. We might see.
Well, all right. I guess I'm going to be here for a while. Couldn't really
At
say, I'm
least-
afraid. I do have a store in the city. It's just not currently open.
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised. If anything, I'd probably be back, if not by the night,
oh.
probably at least by the morning.
Hang on. And there's a whistling inside his caravan. No, I have one more on offer. Just fresh. It's a potion of climbing.
Oh,
For 1 hour, it'll give you the surge of energy you need to scale even sheer cliffs.
about how much for this one?
This one, well... As he looks around at all the low hills sitting around and then the big mountain of Raxis. I'll let it go for 50. Don't think there's going to be much call for it. Not when I've only got the one.
I look at Malgern. How much you got right now?
I've got 8 and change.
Oh heck, I got more than you right now.
His face is
Yeah, because
falling
I
as you
spend a
discuss
lot.
this.
Well, we could go back to the cart and go grab. Then I could also buy the animal handling potion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of dissuading myself from the animal handling, but the climbing one does sound useful, so I'm on board with that.
Yeah, so that'd be what? How
200.
much was it? Yeah, about 200 for the lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? How about we pop back by the camp and grab 200, and then a little extra, so that when we go up to the next camp, we'll have some spending and
Okay.
come on back for it.
I find myself begrudgingly agreeing with the elf.
So the two of you head off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and telling him we will be back.
Oh, yes, of course. It looks Castalia once you two are gone. Young lady, you look as if you're a bit of a charmer. Is she here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
It's just a small flush.
I don't know if you'd find use for it, but you're about the only person I could trust with something like this, he says to the devil. It's this little vial here. It's been sitting around the inventory. It is quite costly, but it is a filter of love. Any man you give this to, or woman if she's so inclined, will be yours, well, for an hour. That's most we need. It's not really something I can sell.
No, I would not think you could sell such a thing.
Well, I mean, it's honestly, I have sold 2 in the past. They're hard to make, but I sold them to a married couple where the fizz had gone. It seemed to work for them for a bit. I just, from the looks of the other 2, I don't think they'd have an interest, or if they did, it would be a worrying interest in it.
No, no. Not those two. How much would you like for it?
Oh. Now there's a question, actually. Do you have a lot on you? I mean, you obviously don't have a lot on you, but you do have a lot on you.
No.
If you give me your purse, you can have it. Because I don't want this to get into the hands of the knights or the mercenaries. Or this lot, to be fair. Look at them all.
I cast my eye about and nod slowly.
Yes, you see a lot of filthy peasants. I'll be happy to get rid of this, to be honest. I can make up a new one once I'm back in the city.
Alright then.
So how much gold do you give him?
I don't have a lot, that's the problem. I've been mostly just dumping in the party's armory.
So you say...
I think most of our wealth is in the wagon.
Mm-hmm. So what, probably about 20 gold?
Yeah.
Or I think you've only got 10 in your pocket, maybe, to begin with. Well, just
I
empty
picked up
whatever
a-
you got in your pockets, and you wind up with a filter of love.
Alright.
It's a very
thank you
small
very
little
much.
vial with a rose-hued, effervescent liquid, which contains one easy-to-miss bubble shaped like a heart.
Oh, that's adorable.
And you've heard plenty of stories about this kind of thing, usually in really tawdry dramas and stage performances. It can be unusual. Whoever takes it for 1 hour will be charmed by the next creature they see, so long as they're attracted to it normally, and regards them as their true love. Then after the hour,
They're gonna be.
the rational
Yeah, they're
mind
gonna-
comes back. They might be pissed off. They might embrace it. Like he said,
Well,
he sold
well-
it to...
Well, will they know they've been charmed?
Yeah, they will know it.
Ah.
But that's why, for example, he sold it to couples who felt the spark had gone.
True.
It may have led to a couple of divorces. You don't know. And after she stashed it somewhere in those silks, the speedy dwarf returns, and then slightly later, so does the elf.
Oh yeah, I am faster.
Just a
I
flurry of
made sure-
dust.
I made sure to keep the coin on me personally, so.
Incidentally, who'd you leave in charge of Pufflesworth?
That's a good question.
Probably Droop, because he's used to it.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Droop's fine with animals.
Yeah, he's watched Pufflesworth before, that's not at all
He
weird.
doesn't really want to handle a person anymore.
So either way, I come back with the 200 gold.
Yep, you buy yourself a nice little potion. Well, two of them. One of climbing, one of animal friendship. You can see the animal friendship one actually looks a bit like muddied water. You can see some fish scales, some fur clinging in it.
Climbing one.
Don't worry, it's all magical effects. You won't feel it going down.
Thank you kindly.
So
Or
it's
is-
just
you know-
called a potion of climbing.
Yep. You think the potion of climbing around it. It sounds like there's grit in it. Stones, but again, magical effect, possibly.
Yeah.
For 1 hour, it gives you advantage on athletics checks.
Hopefully it doesn't taste too bad.
It's made from the power of apples.
Oh.
Yeah.
It'll let you climb a mountain.
Of apples.
Considering the dwarf and I had discussed on the way over, I hand him the climbing and I get the animal handling.
It might also be made from shredded newspaper, you're not sure. Power sauce, the only bar made from real apples. Well, your business all sorted then?
Oh yes, most certainly. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you too for your custom. As he looks at the gold and realizes he's got fuck all to spend it on. But hey, maybe if the war's over, it'll be fine. Well, have a good evening yourself. Be safe.
You as well.
He heads
Then I
back in.
guess-
You start hearing more things sizzle and bubble and fizz.
I guess we'll head off to the next camp.
Remember, there was also the cart that had closed up.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go knocking or just head past?
We should check it out.
I suppose we could check it out.
You checking us out?
Fuck.
Says the father atop his wagon. I see you've been looking out of direction for a while.
I was going to say, who's going to respond?
Yes.
There we go.
Well, I was trying to think of something to say. I'm not.
I mean, hello is a good starter.
No.
Hello, friend!
No, that's over.
The torches are raised. Are you, Hang on a second. He leans back, you can see he's pulling on this big massive padlock and checking inside. Yeah, I still have stock. I was a general store. I have a little bit left. Are you in need of basic supplies and traveling gear?
It certainly wouldn't hurt.
Alright, step on up with me. He offers a massive hand. He's a pretty burly looking dude.
Well, I go to take it and hop on.
It basically covers most of your forearm, and you think, this guy might not be fully human. His skin's a little pale, but there's also... like, he's got a bit of a lantern jaw, but that's about it, really.
Are we thinking possible orc?
Might be blending.
Yeah, not that it matters. I was just curious. What you said, gray, so I think
Yeah,
that's
it might matter
Half
currently. He might be changing the family name when he emigrates.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see here, I've been mostly cleaned out for useful stuff, but I still have a few toolkits, a few assortments, and as I get to the actual mechanical details, he does have some tool sets. He also has a couple of musical instruments, a few gaming sets. Well, he's got plenty of gaming sets, actually. They're easy to produce.
and they probably sell fairly well, given the situation and location.
He does have 2 tents.
We might want to get tents unless people want to bunk up.
Don't think
Well,
this is a
sharing
party
with-
that does that.
I was about to say, sharing isn't necessarily a problem, but we do want probably at least 1 tent per 2.
Well, judging by how the party generally feel about each other, I'd say tents are kind of mandatory. Keep in mind, we only have 2 tents that fit 4 people. And I'm pretty sure Cornelius is going to take one for him.
Probably. You're not wrong.
To be fair, I think Siegfried, Malgern, or Castelia could probably convince him to share.
You really think so?
Well, Droop's
Well,
1 person.
Definitely
I'm okay
2
with...
others wouldn't.
Zarzul and Wolfgang are under the cart. Cornelius and Droop. And then, yeah, at least 1 extra tent.
The tents I can let you have for 5 apiece.
Yeah, I think we're going to definitely do that. Is there anything else of note that we might actually want?
Like I said, there are some toolkits, there are gaming sets, there are musical instruments. And then let's see here. Among the various things you're looking at, there's still, like, the shelves are pretty bare. You can see a few flasks of oil.
We might actually want to acquire those, yeah.
Fishing tackle.
No, that's not really important. For me anyways, unless you guys want.
I don't fish much.
2 slightly old-looking crowbars.
Do we have a crowbar?
1 more.
If we
wooden-
don't, that could come in handy.
I was about to say, yeah, we can take a crowbar as well.
I've got a Dungeoneer's pack. I'm not sure if...
Yeah, Dungeoneer's pack includes 1.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
got 1.
Also, a fairly large cloth bag.
Oh.
Oh, that was supposed to say, yeah, I wouldn't mind a bag.
Well, it's filled, and as you peer inside it, it's got many ball bearings inside it. Many tiny ball bearings. 1,000, in fact.
Oh dear.
Ball bearings?
Yeah, little small metal balls.
I would hope she knows what ball bearings are.
I don't know what ball bearings are. Well, how about we settle for the tent, the oil, and an extra crowbar probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I would take the crowbar. That's like a good idea.
All right, he's asking for a gold piece per flask of oil, and he's got 2 of them.
Alright, so
So you're up to
That-
12 so far,
Are you
and then
keeping
for
track of the money?
12, and then how much for the crowbar?
crowbar will be 4 gold.
Alright, so 16 gold. That's fine.
Once he sees
So-
your money come out, after you run back to the wagon, then come back with
Oh,
more money.
oh no, I brought an extra 100 gold with me. I did bring an extra 100.
When he sees you actually parting with cash, he says, "I also I kept this stashed away. You might like it." Brings out it's a little kit full of poultices and smelling salts. It's a healer's kit to stabilize people.
Oh,
Nah, Rain's not a healer. She doesn't.
shut up. So how much for this then?
Oh, that'll be a full 10 gold.
Alright, so 26. Seems fine by me.
Ah, seems fine by me as well.
I hand over 26 gold.
Thank you greatly. Now keep track of the healer's kit. It's £3 and also has 10 uses.
Alright, so let me get that.
Using that will instantly stabilize someone, but you have to be touching them.
You.
It is also an action. But, in case, say, she falls down, or Zarzul falls down, someone else can do it without having to do a medicine check.
How many uses is it?
10.
10.
The rest of the stuff just looks like sort of bric-a-brac and stuff like tankards and flasks. Stuff that's not really essential.
Alright.
Although there is a cheese wrapped in black wax.
Ooh. So how much for the cheese?
Oh, that is a specialty item. That is death cheese.
Death cheese.
Oh, yes, do you know of the creature of the Catopelpas?
Yes.
Yes.
Those beasts can actually be milked, and that is the product of it. It is said to be incredibly potent. That's why the wax is so thick.
Potent, like smelling or.
Flavor. Also smell, but mostly flavor.
Mm,
How much for the cheese?
That full block there, although it's only a wedge. You're looking at about 25 gold. It is a very difficult novelty to come across, Almost a delicacy among the nobles, if only it could be reduced in larger quantities.
Sure, okay, let's acquire that too.
You will never taste anything else like it in your life. You now have
I
one
looked
wedge
at
of death cheese.
That sounds like something that I shouldn't eat.
I'm just acquiring it because, again, that sounded like something that the nobles would want.
It's fine. It has nothing to do with death. It's just, the creature is famous for having a sight that can cause death. Which
We're
makes it
aware we ran into one.
Oh my, you should have harvested them. Every part of that animal is so valuable.
Alright, so suddenly this is a Monster Hunter campaign.
They are rare creatures. But yes, it should be an enjoyable evening. I recommend a red wine with it.
I look to the others and go, well, can you guys think of anything we're missing?
Well, do you need a red wine?
Oh, if you have anything, we'd love to take a look.
damn, this guy's smooth.
Yeah. He shifts a little bit past you too. He obviously gets a little bit closer to Castalia and Rain than he does to Malgern. checks outside
Yeah.
for a moment, says a few strange words to his wife. It's not uncommon. And then he closes the door, so you're now inside the wagon with him. He steps back, pulls aside one of the boards from that's on the backing wall.
Now,
and
am I
brings out
still
two-
there, or did he separate me from?
No, you're all still in there. It's just, he moved past them instead of you.
Okay.
And then he brings out 2 bottles. One of them has an elven label with a moon on it. The other has a familiar name on it. Scent.
Oh.
I do look a little bit amused. And then I mention, I go, do you know anything particular about these wines?
Oh, yes, of course. This one here was a gift I was given. As he points to the... Oh, hang on. As he points to the scent wine. Yes, this was a gift I was given at one of the great wineries here. Actually, from the one that I'm also holding the bottle of. This one is from a local Raxis one called the Rose and Moon, an elven winery. And yes, when I made a purchase from them, they also gave me this bottle here. The Rose and Moon has been brewing for some, I believe they claimed, near 800 years. This bottle is not that vintage, of course, it's only a 10-year. The
Yes,
scent,
yes.
I'm not sure on. I don't know this label. I've never actually come across it before. It's it looks to be about 5-year, but both red. And obviously, I've not popped the cork, but I have drunk from the Rose and Moon one before. It is very pleasant, very mild in flavor, not in intoxication.
And how much are we speaking?
I'll give you for this the Rose and Moon one he holds up. I'd say it's so hard to come across good alcohol, currently. I'd say 60 gold, and I'll throw in the scent for nothing.
Wow.
I have to think. I kind of don't want to spend that much, but at the same time, I really, really want to, just so I can say, and we got this one for free.
And I am just trying to hold back laughter.
I'm going for it,
Fucking
sure.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, excellent. Now, you hide those bottles, of course. I don't need people to know that there is booze in the camp.
Oh, certainly. At this point, I turn my dress, hit some extra pockets in the slits so you can't see, and I slip the bottles into the slit.
He
And
blinks a few
rain
times
pockets. I'm gonna say you've got practice at this.
at that. That is quite the garment you have.
Oh, I love it.
That would be very useful in my line of work. Thank you, then.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Please, have a good evening. And I hope you, practice some discretion.
Almost
Of
certain.
course.
Excellent. Then be well, my friends. May the sun shine on your backs.
You as well. Have a great day. I go to head back to camp. I'm excited.
Well, we're not even gonna try the other one, which has.
We could, but I need to get more coin then, probably. I only brought 100 extra.
Oh, very well.
As of right now, I've got, including the of my own personal, I brought 100 extra, and right now I'm at 15.
And so you return to camp.
Yes, we do.
Oh, Cornelius,
Mm-hmm.
you know wine.
I would say I would say I am an expert. Yes.
Well, I've got this bottle here. I pull out the Elven one, and I got this other bottle for free. Could you tell me anything about these two?
What
I
can
hand him. I hand him the one we actually paid for first.
Mm-hmm. What can I tell about it?
It looks to be a 10-year-old. Fine grape. Well, it's claiming that anyway, but elves always claim that sort of thing. The label does proclaim a rose and moon. Do you pop the cork?
Well, with her permission, it's her bottle after all.
Yeah, I figured we could share that one tonight. So yeah, sure, why not?
It is... What's the word for it, really? It feels like a sun-kissed day kind of thing. It's very lively, very fragrant. There's a distinct hint of the alcoholic content, but there is just this full, ripe grape that keeps it slightly to the side. You're still aware of it, but the flavor is there first. It seems a pretty high-quality wine.
Seems like your standard elven wine.
Oh, so pretty decent. All right. Well, that's pretty nice. We got the second one too. He gave it away for free. He didn't know very much about it. He'd been given it for free. Come to think of it too. I think you might know this one a little bit better. I hold up the bottle.
You recognize that label.
Yeah.
That is from before the change of hands.
Well, here's loss, I guess. No, I don't know how. I don't think we have ever sold any of these bottles in these regions.
You do see one difference from the label of how you remember it. There is a stamp on the side. It looks like, like a customs stamp. Although not one you're familiar with. It actually seems vaguely familiar, though, from something else you've seen. Like, it's a very simplified depiction of a boat on water.
A boat on water. That doesn't have anything to do with Waterdeep, does it?
No, not at all. Waterdeep
Okay.
symbol is... Ooh, I think I've just torn some of my PHP here. Waterdeep symbol is a crescent moon shining down on open water. They don't involve a boat.
Curious.
If you want, you can roll an intelligence check. It's more to see if Cornelius remembers. Yeah, you remember seeing a symbol very close to this on the pranked message tube, where you got your catnap scroll. And from that, you also had the association with a merchant who told you that the message tube came from Chaldea, a port town far to the north. Well, port city.
Well, that's interesting. This bottle has traveled far. No wonder it has switched hands a couple of times.
I thought it was curious.
It was a freebie. It was like a mint you get at the end of a meal.
Well, not bad for a free edition. Thanks for the info.
Oddly enough. Mentioned about the stamp.
Oh, that is interesting. Who would send it all the way up there from... Because you're back from, you said, around the Waterdeep Neverwinter area?
And Rain, while you're standing with him, you do recognize now the symbol on the label matches the symbol on the medallion on his hat.
Yeah. So, it went from all the way from where you guys are, all the way up north and all the way back down here.
I guess so.
It's a bit weird. Weirder things have happened.
As long as they paid for it back then.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter much to me. I wound it up and apparently I got it free back. So that's profit for me.
I turned to the other.
As I swoop the bottle back into one of the pouches.
Hey. And I gesture for him to give it back.
What?
At least-
You're free?
I purchased it, so at least give me a different bottle. I don't care if you give me a different bottle.
No, you get the set bottle back. I know what it tastes like.
Give me a bottle.
Yeah, I said I gave you it back because I already know how that one tastes.
Yes, I bought 2 bottles. I want a second bottle.
Yeah, you got the set bottle back.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, he.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you put it.
He's literally.
Twice.
I thought. Then what did you put away?
No, I did put it away. Did you say you wanted it back? And then I said,
Oh.
well, I just gave you that one back because I know how that one tastes.
Oh, okay. There we go. I'm
Yeah.
confused. My brain.
Yeah,
isn't
you
working.
are.
Oh, fuck. Anyways, all right. So I go turn to the others. All right. How much should I probably bring to the next camp?
Well,
Which camp are you going to? 4, you mean?
Yeah, because the last time I brought 100 and we ended up using that anyways. So
you just bring 100 gold each.
all right, yeah. So are we all ready to head back out to the next camp we're going to?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
It's not long before you realize, wow, party town right here.
I'm liking this.
There are people dancing, playing music really badly, but they're making up what they lack in talent with volume. So much volume. There are people dancing, if you call it that. Some of it is getting very close to the horizontal mambo, but they're still standing. It is a wild place where people are really trying very, very hard to give up their cares and worries. And you don't see any you don't see bottles, you just see casks, many casks. Some obviously have been emptied out and are actually being used to prop up lean-tos and tents. There is a good circle of people around the campfire, sometimes chucking on the cask, and there is an outcry from a very rotund dwarf, who seems to be the main supply chain of this. Not wanting to lose his fine aged barrels. But then he has another swig and just settles down. Many bronzed ornaments sitting in his beard. Then he notices that you lot aren't dancing and swinging as well. Also, give me a dex save, all 3 of you.
And
Get over to the.
nope.
In the clamor of bodies, Rain, someone touched your ass.
We know no
I
one's
wish
gonna
I was
touch me.
surprised.
So.
Castalia, some dude grabbed your horn for a moment and shouted woo. Malgern, you just shoved your way through. No one
Nobody
fucked
touches
with you.
the dwarf. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
There was one person who almost tried to slap your bowler hat off, and you just
Oh,
glared at
you
them.
not touch the hat. He might be dead now.
Yeah, you just glared at him, and he stopped and walked away.
Just kidding. No.
But where you walked, it quickly filled in with a couple of extra bodies. People are just not giving a shit right now. There's even a couple of fist fights breaking out among the clamoring for each other. No one gives a shit. New arrivals to the party.
I'm looking at Castalia, considering she's the one that looks more party.
Yes, we've just arrived from a little bit out of camp. Why the celebrations?
Well, with nothing else to do. I should be having my tavern right now at the Cock and Strumpet. We should be having fun. We should be having laughs. Instead, I am pissing away my inventory to this lot. They're not even properly paying for it. You fucking layabout louts. But we're still having a good time, yeah?
Oh, it's the most important thing. So, what ales do you have for sale?
Ah, a bit of a poet. I have my own, of course. I have the rampant cock. As he puts his foot up in one barrel, gives it a shake. I still have a few of those left. The other one, of course, is the long strumpet. This one's a bit harder, bit more potent, and it's mainly because of those fights there, and the fact that that man is cheating on his wife with 2 other women. So you can tell it's good stuff.
I look to Malgern, as he is our resident hall expert, for his opinion.
Would I be familiar with this, or
Nah, this is local brew stuff.
I'm up for a drink.
Alright. Sure, why not? Everyone else is pissing it away, why not give some samples? Hang on then. He half fills a tankard with
Okay.
with the rampant cock. Then he looks at you for a moment.
I'm gonna be
size you
sort of nice here.
Mhm.
What would that normally cost? Give a
couple of copper.
yeah, I will toss him a couple copper because I don't want to just piss it away like everyone else.
He has
So
found a soulmate.
He snaps that out of the air.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna abuse this man. Like,
Looks at the coins to make sure they're actual coins. Gives you a look. There's a gleam in the eye, and then he slots the coins into the sort of crescent ornaments on his beard to hold them in place. All right, I like you, and he fills the tankard up fully.
excellent.
All right, go on, fill your throat with my rampant cock. Careful, it's
You've been
quite
waiting
foamy at the
sessions
tip.
to say that.
It's quite foamy at the tip.
Oh, it just keeps coming. Oh God! No.
He is grinning, of course, laying his hands on his big gut. Oh, yes, sorry, ladies. He also pours half measure for the other 2. There you go. Everyone enjoys a good rampant cock these days.
I toast to his
Especially the
health
elf.
and try it.
It's very... quite rich. It doesn't it's not the sort of piss water cheap ale that you're used to in the typical bars. This is warm, sort of nourishing. It feels like liquid bread. You feel like you could have this with a glass of water. It's technically a meal. There you go, you see? You were surprised that my rampant cock was so thick. Also, of course, big foamy mustaches on a lot of you. You approve?
Yeah, I actually really like it.
Yes, it's quite good.
Excellent, excellent. What about you, my friend? It's always important to have a bearded endorsement.
Well, how strong is it?
Not really strong. It's something you could actually enjoy instead of forget about.
Yeah, okay.
This is a
I'm enjoying my
flavored beer.
drink.
I mean, obviously,
give
for
him
you
an
it's a flavor
approving
beer.
look.
It's gotten the rest hammered.
Yeah, like it's got a good taste to it. Yeah, I give him an approving nod.
Yeah, yeah. Now, next we have the long strumpet. This one takes a while to pour. Ha-ha! It doesn't, though. It just takes the same amount as a normal beer. Once more passes it out. He gives a full measure now to Castalian Rain.
He's not trying to take advantage of anything, no sir.
And as you sip that down, this is... There's almost a necessity to chew in a way. It's not as lumpy. It's not that there's any kind of unusualness to it. It just feels like this is thick. This is viscous booze.
So it's
Nice,
thicker than
though.
his rampant cock.
Yeah, it's not as thick as rampant cock. That one has more of a creamy finish. This one could weigh you down. This could make you feel powerful. It's got a real surge. It's more malty than hops. It's not bad. It's not as smooth and as, you could quaff a lot of a long cock. You particularly, Malgern, you could fill yourself with long cock up. Whereas this one, you'd have to pace yourself on.
Mm-hmm.
He's been dying to say this for weeks.
Yeah.
You set this up for a while, I can tell.
No, this is all spur of a moment.
Oh, God.
Perfect. My hat's off to you, then. These are great.
Oh man, you should look up a list of British pub names. So many are innuendo themed.
Oh, I can imagine.
So, let's see here. If you want to keep drinking, I'll accept coin. A lot of coin, yeah.
I kind of do a little bit of a nod, and I go, well, I was really more hoping to grab something to take back to camp.
Oh, fantastic! You'll preserve my kegs. As long as you promise not to burn these, I'll even knock a coin or two off the price.
Yeah, why not?
All right, if you can get and cherish this, please. Don't just quaff it down like these inebriated arseholes. But I'm willing to let them go. My long cock for 60. The long strump, or my rampant cock. Sorry, I've had a bit myself. The rampant cock for 60. The long strumpet for, I'll say, 89. Gold, that is, not copper. As he jingles his beard.
I look to the others and I go, well, maybe if we could just...
I'm open to trade. I don't need all of it. I don't need all of it in coin.
How about we just get the, oh dear, the rampant cock.
The lady knows what she likes, huh?
Almost certainly. I look at him. Would that be a decent compromise?
She looks over my gun. I've only had one woman ever refuse my rampant cock, and she's now my wife. Ha ha ha!
Any input for the other two?
No, sounds fine to me.
Let's just get it and get out of here.
Alright, yes. So we are going to buy some rampant cock.
Yep.
And how much was that?
60.
Okay, yeah. That's...
See if you next time remember why you've written rampant cock in the inventory.
Why is it so heavy?
No.
Why has Siegfried emptied half of it?
Alright, there we go. Let's head out of here.
Give me deck saves.
Oh god.
As you're trying to push your way through.
Yep, nope.
Still got it.
Pio, one drunken gal loops arms with you. Another one is sort of pulling on your tail.
Ooh, pull him in your
Ow.
tail, huh? No.
Do you have a response for him?
The looping of the arm is fine. The tail pull is not.
That's where the line has been crossed. You're like a cat.
Tieflings have pretty fucking big tails, too. I'm guessing you're just gonna, stiff up her lip and pull your way through?
Yes, with a little bit of a glare.
It hurts a little bit afterwards, and you give it a couple of swishes after to make sure nothing was properly damaged. But, you walk it off, it's fine. Although you do have to look at it and just see these sort of foamy finger marks that are getting wiped away by the water.
Ugh.
Your infernal heritage was sullied for a moment.
Sticky beer hands.
And so you all return to camp as Malgern wheels a massive keg.
And as we approach,
Happily, I might add.
and as we approach, I proceed to shout, "Who wants some rampant cock?"
I was hoping she wouldn't do that.
I kind
I was
of
hoping
knew
to
she
forget the
would.
name of this so I could enjoy it, but
Malgern has some rampant cock if you want some.
Come on, you know that. You know what having a mouthful of rampant cock helps the flavor.
Just for that, the elf can't have any of my rampant cock.
I paid for it. I
Possession is 9/10 of the law, as you said earlier.
Cornelius is about to ask a question and then decides not to.
What's inside the
probably for
barrel?
best.
I am very polite and say, no, really, that's what the beer is called, and it's actually really good.
If you don't think about it, it tastes better.
Just close your eyes and swallow.
Yeah, exactly. I set him up, you knock him down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a wonderful evening, and I'll go to bed now.
We also got more tents.
Not surprised being grabbed like that. And so you all bivouac down for the night.
Mm-hmm. Suppose he's gonna need watches.
It's up to you guys. You are surrounded by
watches.
quite a few camps, and it is open area around you.
All the more reason to have watches.
Well-
Who's going to take the first?
I'm willing to stay up and do a first watch.
How much do you guys
Fred will
booze, by
take
the way?
second.
I would not be snackered, but tipsy.
I'm feeling fine. I mean,
Any of you guys want to get roistered?
That'll be. I'm waiting to get absolutely snookered until after Ermon Hill.
I'm trying to, but I can't get the name out. So it's just I can't drink
just-
as much as I want.
It's too dense. It's filling up all of your mind right now.
Yeah, it's just so dense.
You're just glad that your mug doesn't have a lid on it.
Yeah.
So first watch is Rain.
Mhm.
Anyone joining?
Pufflesworth.
Obviously.
Looks like that's it. Give me a perception check. In the next 2 hours, nothing really changes, apart from the rowdy camp gets a bit quieter. The noises get a little different. It seems like there was more shouting and more sort of violent stuff and just whooping and hollering. Not surprising, really. Most people were shit-faced when you saw them.
Yeah, they're getting more to the angry drunk. Somebody's probably hit on somebody else's wife.
Yeah, it's easy to have a look around. You're just not seeing anyone approaching, nothing really moving around. There's definitely no animals about with all this noise and people.
Yeah.
And your watch finishes quite nicely. Now to poke someone else awake.
I was about to say, who am I waking up?
Yeah, what's the sleeping arrangement with the tents as well? I
How many
picture-
tents do we
Fred's got
have?
next
We have
watch.
4 tents now.
Yep. Although I picture Zarzal for some reason not being told and still sleeping under the wagon.
It's comfortable. I made a nice little nest under there.
He's just spread out some gold coins around him.
I'll take second watch. Because I also still want to look at the broken sword as more of what part of a sword it is. Because I might be able to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I'm going to bed.
All right, then. Castalia by herself in. Perception
Who
check.
wants to share? Who wants to share a watch with me? We can get
Yes.
drunk.
Yeah, I will. Mhm. Yeah, I could. Maybe it'll get my mind off of.
All right, it's just the three of yous. Perception check from the
Three.
two of you first.
All right, perception.
Yep.
Who's the third?
You are both on high alert, and you realize there is no point at the moment. Because it's just... I mean, okay, there's always the chance of a thief, but then it's also very open area, very low grass. There's not a lot of cover, even... You know, you saw a handful of dwarves, you saw some gnomes and halflings and all, so... There was definitely some dark vision rolling around there. Even a few half-elves. Not a lot of full ones, though. You did notice that. So yeah, not really anything to worry about. And then, your actions for that evening.
Drink, 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 drink.
I'm gonna look over the sword and drink.
Yes, that's always a good combination. By the sword, you mean the shard you've got?
Yeah, the shard as to where it would be on a sword or great sword.
All right. How many drinks do you have?
I'll likely do the sorting before
You
So I've had the
had
two so far.
You've had the two so far. No worries there. Once again, you focus, and now... Again, it's the oiled feeling. The darkness. Feeling as if you're constricted and bound. You feel small again. You feel like you're bound, fully. No movement, no relief. Malgern, you're watching this as she sort of brings her arms up around herself and just sort of tightens down. You see her neck sort of recede in a little bit. Like, she's doing it herself. It's not physically vanishing.
Mm-hmm.
And her eyes are open. The breath slow and steady. Agastala, you feel... There's a very slight movement running through you. Slightly left to right. Mostly at the tips of your feet. There is small reverberations in the air. There is snoring, muffled by whatever you're bound inside. Then you're awake again, but you still feel that strange thing of... In other visions, it felt like you traveled great distances. It felt like there was a moment of absolute void before you jumped. This one, it felt like between blinks.
Mm.
And of course, you have to do a moment of stretching and shifting. Because it just feels like everything's been stiffened up. And you also look at your fingers and just sort of... You have to feel along the lengths of them to make sure they're the right size again.
Mm. And so, which part of the sword is this from?
It's from a blade.
Okay, so it's from the main blade, or the tip, the base.
It felt like... Well, that's the thing. You couldn't really... You were feeling it as the whole.
Ah. So I can't really judge any from it from just looking.
You can look at the shard itself and see that it does have an edge on it. And there's no tip, so you'd say probably from the body of a blade.
Okay.
You don't know if it's double or single-edged, but it has an edge. So not a stabbing sword, at least. Not a gladius.
I think the owner of this might still be alive and nearby.
Well, Gurren, you're not sure what you saw. One moment she was frozen as she just clung into herself, and then she just came back to being who she is. Stretching, and wow, that outfit is quite nice on her.
I'm gonna kind of put my drink down. You okay, mate?
Yes. I see visions when I... And...
I see visions too, but it usually takes more than one drink.
Let's be honest, it takes a swift blow to the head.
I can generally see the previous owner. In this case, I think this one actually might be alive and nearby.
And now I'm just remembering that time she asked me to take my tosser. I'm just like, oh. The wheels are turning. I'm putting things together.
Are you? Because all
As
I
best
see
I
is
can, anyway.
all I see is a round peg and a square hole.
Homer Simpson brain dot gif. Yeah.
Yep.
The monkey. Yeah.
What are you putting together, Ben?
No, I'm just thinking to myself. So that's why she wanted to see my. She wanted to see the tosser.
She wanted to see your hammer, right?
Yeah.
Your bludgeoning instrument.
I didn't even have to buy her a drink first.
Speaking of drinks, how whammed are you two attempting to get?
I'm just drinking. I'm not trying to attempt to do anything.
Castalia?
This is a normal night for me.
The dwarf knows how to pace himself. He was born to the booze.
Not really
Nearly
hammered,
adopted it.
but I'd say 2 more drinks.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say a con check then.
Alright. Let's see if I can hold my liquor. Well, I've rolled good twice, so probably not. Nope.
So, by the rules of RNG,
You've got the buzz. It's a nice light little buzz and you're in full control. But maybe you're a little giggly. I don't know how Castalia is as a drunk. It hasn't come up yet. But you're definitely still in control, just a little lighter in the inhibitions. Might be a little bit of a stumble at one point as you get to your tent.
I make sure to thank my watch partner for an enjoyable evening.
I just kind of raise my empty tankard before putting it back with the rest of my stuff and going to my tent.
Yes, the two of you bonded as you shared a rampant cock together.
You were just waiting to say the name again, admit it.
Oh yeah. So, third watch. Who's getting poked by either a soggy drunk devil or a dwarf who's slightly less grumpy?
Only slightly.
That's all
Oh,
roll out
Siegfried.
from underneath the
Oh,
cut.
excellent. So we have one person doing the watch, Zarzul and Siegfried.
He's not wrong.
You two are on high alert. There's no need for a perception check. It won't help.
Yep.
Any conversation between the two of you? Any doings? Any dabblings?
Siegfried's got some pieces of paper and he's trying to work out a new identity.
I wonder why.
Zarzul looks at the paper and says, "Hello, new friend."
Soon. Yes, soon.
Well, do you want to... You can do a roll on your disguise kit, or not disguise kit, your forger's tools, I think you have.
I had it written down here.
Yeah, you should have a forgery kit.
Yeah, I got a forgery kit. I just say it's thieves' tools at the moment.
Yeah, it'll basically be a deception roll. Actually, no, let's... Do you have a higher modifier for intelligence?
Intelligence is +2,
Charisma is plus...
and then add the deception is charisma, but I get proficiency bonus for it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, look down your stats. What's your charisma modifier?
Charisma is +1.
Yeah, so you got a 16 then. Yeah, you do some good work. It's up to you what you call yourself and how you pass it off, but it's looking... It's looking like, you know, most people, if you'd show this to anyone, really, it would work, maybe. It's not foolproof, you know, hard scrutiny, especially expert scrutiny, it'd fall apart quickly, but by that time you'd hopefully be gone.
Yeah, I'll just keep this and do a bit more work on it just to polish up a few loose ends.
Meanwhile, you're being watched by this beady-eyed little dragon creature.
I don't know who you are anymore.
Maybe Siegfried isn't even his real name.
Are you saying and Ham is a fake surname?
At least they're not trying to pass off as a tall dwarf at the moment.
Although there is a few scribbles on the page where you were trying that as an option.
Is there such thing as a half dwarf?
Yes.
Not in this setting. In the Dark Sun
Oh.
setting, there are the mules.
No. Never mind then, I was wrong.
Yeah, weirdly, there's no prolific half dwarf race.
I know I've seen them, but yeah, maybe it was another setting.
Yeah. Yeah, I showed you Tim. Weirdly, they're hairless and beardless,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
but they're big, muscled. Who
It's
knows?
like a
You could be the
jacked
first
human.
Siegfried, at least if your deception is high enough.
That would be funny.
Nothing else between the two of you?
At the moment.
Zazzle was just looking a bit sad at the camps, thinking they could have been friends.
If somebody else had gone with you first.
Someone who wasn't a monster had gone into the camp, it might have all worked out differently. Alrighty, final watch.
Well, I guess that's pretty much only Cornelius and Droop.
So you rouse Droop, do you?
Nah, I think I'll let him sleep.
As the sun rises up, I mean, it's very gradual the moment you are in autumn. The rain starts to plummet down as you crawl out from the tent.
From where? She's on the ground. How did she fall?
Fuck. That was horrible.
It's bad enough the Corvus does this shit.
I do it well, though.
And why didn't the rain happen when it was actually raining so we had the sound effect?
Just to spite you.
Do you know that dwarves all understand Morse code? Yeah. They all know how to operate a tap.
Okay, that one. Yeah, that's that. Now you're getting good.
No.
Can I put that on my character sheet? Can this be a thing?
You can go ahead, you know Morse code.
Awesome. I don't know if Morse code is a thing that exists, but I know it.
You could create it. Anyway, Cornelius, you are standing there, wishing that you'd woken up Drew because he could conjure up an umbrella. But I mean, one prestidigitation and all the dampness is gone, but for now it's soaking
I
through.
was gonna say that, can't he, like, if Drew can do it, can't he?
He's not a conjuration wizard.
Oh.
He is a destruction wizard. He is a blow things the fuck up wizard, but carefully.
Okay.
Whereas Droop is a make shit wizard. Give me a perception check. Yep. It's not great. It's honestly a bit hard to make out, but then it's also really easy to make out things in general. On these open plains, you'd easily spot a person, even if they were trying to be sneaky.
Cornelius is actually in kind of a foul mood.
Can't imagine why.
He didn't want to show Rain, but he is livid. He knows why she did this. He just didn't want to show her.
Didn't want to give her the satisfaction.
They gave it away for free.
And then that fucking letter.
That bottle is meant to go for 250 gold.
Ooh, really? Ooh.
And I got it for 60.
With other things, so. Yeah. Ouch, his pride. It's like-
That's why he's not bothering with any umbrella or anything.
you just gotta have
He
pride in
wants
the
to be
rain.
grumpy right now. He wants to be pissed off.
He's channeling his inner Malgrim.
Oh man, are we about to become best buds? I think we're about to become best buds.
What a happy occasion today is. And worst of all, Cornelius, it's your birthday.
Oh,
Is it really his birthday?
No, he never told me what his birth date would be.
that would be funny though.
It's
Horrible, but funny.
You just feel like someone's shitting your cornflakes. But you still
And
have
you
to
know who
eat
that
it.
was.
Someone shit in the gruel, and now you have to eat it.
And you know who it was.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, though. He doesn't. He still doesn't know.
Oh.
Well, I
Well,
don't
he
know.
knows
You
who
blaming
served it
Rain
to
for
him.
this? It's Rain's fault that he knows. I mean,
But it's a clue.
the elf. Yeah, it's always the elf.
But it is a temptation to just open up a sleet storm on every one of these camps.
Especially your own. Just a very localized one. Everyone is exempted except
new
the half
tents
elf.
and just some burning hands can take care of this.
But yeah, that's basically what the whole watch is gonna go with.
Take inspiration if you don't already have it.
I still have my inspiration. This is the third time I've gotten inspiration.
I think we're all afraid to use it.
Yeah, you guys are just fucking hoarders. You're waiting for a giant enemy crab. It's not gonna happen. Burn your resources.
I haven't had a reason to use it yet.
It's a
Also
roll.
true. Yeah.
I don't think I ever had a role I needed to redo where that was that desperate to use an inspiration.
And morning arrives. The rest of the party are to be nudged awake or on their own. Castalia, no real issues. You feel a little dehydrated, but no headache. Malgern, it's as if you just drank water last night. You're feeling fine and daisy.
I'm just wondering why Cornelius is the wet one. Isn't that usually reserved for the tiefling?
It doesn't last long.
It's strange.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah, it's strange to see Castalia in the rain because you're seeing water rippling on her as if the raindrops are hitting surface tension.
Oh yeah, I would have noticed that last night. Yeah.
And the rain continues to gain in weight and thickness. It's starting to sheet down.
I make sure to put Pufflesworth in the cart so he doesn't get completely another soak.
Yeah, you would.
Troop emerges and very quickly pops up an umbrella and holds it above Cornelius. It's a small
Thank you.
umbrella just fit for one person with a very long handle. He is getting drenched.
Aww.
And now you know you're heading off to Ermom Hill in horrible conditions, with a keg still full of rampant cock. And we'll get to that next week, potentially.
Oh wow, it is already.
Yeah, it's been 3 hours.
On the combat session, but really good.
Oh no,
I
fun
figured-
session.
Well, for one thing, I figured you guys would like a break from combat after a previous session.
Oh,
No,
absolutely.
I have
but-
no problem with tonight's session.
No, tonight's session was great.
Yeah, it's also important to roleplay, to get the grips with these characters and learn them.
And I think I've solved my computer problem in the meantime. So.
Okay. And apart from the issue we know about, we may have an absent dwarf next week. Any other problems for the rest of you?
Nope. My peak season is over, so working Saturdays.
Okay, that's good.
I wish my peak season was over. It has only just begun.
Yeah, that's fucking horrible.
Damn kids.
Any idea when they'll rejig your shift?
What?
6 months or more.
Yeah.
Ah,
Ugh.
In operations, probably a little. I'd say 4 months.
okay, so next week, don't be surprised if Malgern was killed off screen by alcohol poisoning. Turns out he
Okay.
could not handle my rampant cock.
It was poisoned. Mine was poisoned because I offended the.
Yeah.
Those actually were fake coins.
He took in too much, he'll never walk again.
He has food poisoning, so he'll stay in the cart.
But no,
For
no.
6 months.
I ran off with Pufflesworth because I need to get away from the elf.
No.
We'll have to work
You
out
got
what to
a
do.
permanent- You got a permanent giant growth on Pufflesworth, and now he's your steed.
Especially bad since we're going to a fucking dwarf tomb next time.
Well, he might be about. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll work
figure it
out what we can do from there. But for now, Rescue at Raxis is done for this week. We'll be back the next.